All right, welcome back. 9:13 your time. Atlanta United beat the Colorado Rapids 1-0 on Saturday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The wins, they've been a little harder to come by early this season, and that's been tough for fans after the bar was really raised last season along with a championship banner. Now, if you want to relive some of last year's great moments, you can. Longtime Atlanta sports writer I.J. Rosenberg is here to talk about his new book, Conquered, the inside story of Atlanta United's magical run. I.J., how you doing, man?
Good. Good to see you, Buck.
Good to see you, too. All right, so tell us a little bit about this book. You kind of have a real behind-the-scenes look, not only at last season, but how this whole thing started.
Well, it actually started 5 years ago. I got a call from one of Arthur Blank's people that I have a relationship with, and we had thought about doing a story or a book on the stadium. But Arthur, I think, wanted to, sort of look at his soccer team from the very beginning. So, yes, I was there before they had any employees. And Arthur gave me great access. He really did. We met probably about every 6 weeks for about 3 or 4 years. And just a lot of good information from Darren Eales, Carlos, the technical director, right, everything like that. And, got really, with the first year, we were actually going to come out with the book after the first season. But the way it ended against Columbus, they decided, let's wait another year. We lucked out. They won a championship.
Yeah, in case you were wondering how to finish that book, they kind of gave you a natural, perfect way to finish it, right? And really, it's amazing to me. I think it shows how much that that this town is starved for a winner, that this town just went absolutely nuts. It's been a long time since championships come to Atlanta, and this town went nuts for Atlanta United.
Well, Buck, it was a lot of similarities to the Braves in the 90s, which I actually, was lucky enough to cover for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. But I'll tell you what happened here. Two things. Number one, it was a perfect storm. It's like you brought up, young people, a lot of people that, come from other places that, don't really look at the Falcons and the Braves as their only team.
Right.
And they sort of picked up the United as their team. And I think the other big thing was Arthur just did an incredible job. I mean, he opened up the checkbook, but I also think that Arthur Blank, what he does, everything he does first class, from the way he did his academy to what he did at the stadium. They didn't build MBS just for the Falcons. They built it for soccer, too. A lot of good hires, Darren Eales, all down, all came together. Tata, of course, the coach. And, one thing led to another, and they had a great year last year and won it.
I know it's chock full of information, but what's one thing that stands out that maybe people don't know? You're like, oh, wow.
Well, it was interesting when they were hiring Darren Eales, they were being very secretive about it. Soccer is very interesting the way they cover it. And they actually brought him up to Flowery Branch. And it just so happens they were doing the HBO, this was a couple years ago, They were doing the HBO special. Well, meanwhile, they had HBO cameras everywhere. And the last thing that Darren wanted, or the United, was that he was there and they were eating lunch in the Falcons lunchroom. And, he was, sort of hiding and sort of keeping away from the cameras. But there's a lot of that insight, into this. And, going into the name, one other thing on the Atlanta United, I can't tell you how hard it was to get the commissioner, Don Garber, to agree to give them the United. I mean, Darren fought for it, Arthur fought for it. They finally got it. It makes a lot of sense.
I just thought about this. Maybe you're the lucky charm. You're working on a 95 Braves book. They win the World Series. You're working on a book for Atlanta United. They win the MLS Cup. Let's go back to some of that Brave stuff. What a great time it was to be in Atlanta. And you talk about a team at that time who had gotten so close in years, just a few years prior, a team dying to win a championship. Well, and we recognize a guy in this book.
Yeah, we do. And wrote 3 books. Miracle Season was the first one. We sold over 100,000 copies of Miracle Season. But there he is, Ron Gant, and a lot of pictures of Ron Gant here. I got to see Ron this morning. And
I think he can still jump that high, too.
Yeah, he probably can. This actually came when we were watching the game, when San Francisco clinched it by beating the Dodgers, and we were watching it on this terrible screen at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And that was the moment. And, I mean, you see Bobby Cox, and, of course, we wish him well. But a lot of great times with the Braves. And, hey, maybe I should take up the Hawks next.
Yeah, that's right. It'll get you and the Falcons. The Falcons could use a Super Bowl win, too. So I'm going to get you started on a Falcons book for this season, all right?
All right, bud.
IJ, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate
Look forward
the time.
to checking it out. Yeah, appreciate you coming in. So IJ's new book, Conquered, the inside story of Atlanta United's magical run, is on sale now.